Thanks for joining us here on 9 News Plus. I'm Chris Bianchi here with 9 News Sports' Scotty Gange. There's some big developments here in Broncos world. The Broncos have hired Sean Payton as their head coach. They did give up a couple of draft picks to get him. Scotty, as this news coming in here on Tuesday afternoon, what's your initial takeaway from that trade?
Well, the initial takeaway is, to me, fantastic. I mean, and we were just talking to Mike Kliss. He said he is the greatest candidate for this job. The Broncos were, of course, going for Jim Harbaugh and Sean Payton, D'Amico Ryans. A couple other coaches were out there, but it was all about Harbaugh, Ryans, and Sean Payton. And today, 20, 30 minutes ago, the news comes out. But they did have to give up a lot for him. So the Broncos, just so you at home can know, will not have a first-round pick.
Ever.
Again.
Yeah.
They're pick 29 this year. They're giving up their second-round pick next year. That's because Sean Payton, even though he's a Fox Sports analyst, he's the guy you see every Sunday, wearing the different ties. Everyone's saying, "Oh, what tie is that?"
Yeah.
Right. He is still part of the Saints organization, and so they had to technically trade for him. So they give up, first round this year, second round next year. In return, the Broncos get the Saints' 2024 third-round pick.
Okay.
And, of course, Sean Payton to lead the charge and hopefully get Russell Wilson right.
So I guess the way to think of it, in my mind as a fan, maybe as an instinct, would be the Broncos are kind of going all in here, aren't they, in a sense of they gave up a first and a second, two firsts and 2 seconds to give Russell Wilson, give up another first and another second to get Sean Payton, backing up the Brinks truck, it sounds like, to pay Sean Payton as well. They're going all in, aren't they?
Right. Well, I mean, it's obvious in the NFL. It's all about your coach and your quarterback. Look at the Chiefs. They have Mahomes and Reed. Things are working out well for them. Look at the Eagles, Hurts and Sirianni. Of course, it's easy to put up the Super Bowl teams, but it's true. That's what the NFL is becoming. It's coach and quarterback. If you can get that right, you have a chance against anybody in the National Football League. But this is kind of interesting, right? Because this is just, I believe, the 8th time in NFL history that teams have actually traded for a coach. The two most notable times, in my opinion, Don Shula in 1970.
Worked out?
Yeah, that worked out in 1972, undefeated season. And the last coach to have it, Bill Belichick, in 2000. And,
That worked out.
Yeah, that seemed to be just okay with the Patriots and all their championships, and he's still a coach there. So the Broncos are certainly hoping to have a coach for more than a season or 2 seasons like they've had for so many years prior.
So is the assessment here from the Broncos that it was Nathaniel Hackett and the coaching staff that was the problem last year? Because from Russell Wilson's, I mean, again, the way, I'm not trying to be too negative about this in a sense, but like...
Well, it was a negative season.
It was a bad season.
It's certainly an argument you can make, right? Was it the coaching staff that couldn't figure it out? Was it Hackett and Russell just did not work together? That's beyond either of our pay grades. But perhaps, and I think what they're going for is, hey, if we can get an experienced guy who's won a Super Bowl, has been the NFL Coach of the Year both in 2009, and has coached and led a Hall of Fame quarterback in Drew Brees like Sean Payton did in his time in New Orleans, then maybe we can turn this thing around. And we have Russell Wilson, who has won a Super Bowl, who has shown he can be an elite quarterback. And now if we can figure this out and get our guy and not a first-year guy like the Broncos have had the last 3 times, maybe things change for the Broncos and they can get back to the 2014-15 ways of winning and making it to the playoffs and being one of the best offenses in the league. And Chris, I'll put it out there. Sean Payton was a quarterback at Eastern Illinois University. Also, that was Mike Shanahan. And so it's just kind of good juju going around right now that the very best Broncos coach in history, Mike Shanahan, has 2 Super Bowl championships, and the brand new head coach and a well-seen Sean Payton, who's been around the block quite some times, is now the same college.
Same college, both Eastern Illinois. I think that the Panthers, is that right?
I couldn't tell you. It just happened 20 minutes ago. But good guess. I like it.
I like it. Eastern Illinois, Charleston, Illinois to here in Denver, Colorado. A couple other quick points that come off the top of my head as well. Sean Payton on the positive side, he's got a fair bit to work with. I mean, this was a Broncos team that was really banged up last year.
Yeah.
And, you get Javonte Williams back. You get key pieces of the offensive line, key pieces of the defense. Tim Patrick off the top of my head. He's going to have some pieces to work with here, isn't he?
Absolutely. He'll have pieces to work with. The only argument against this is, and of course time will tell, but is this trade going to be worth it? Giving up yet another first-round pick, yet another second-round pick in the Broncos squad, which, yes, had struggles with the coaching staff last year and the year before, too, but they need some players, too. I mean, they're one of the worst teams in the league in terms of record last year. It's not just a coach they need players, so this is really a bet. Like you said, they're putting it all out there on coach and quarterback. And the next year or several years to come is going to decide if that works out or not.
And Sean Payton will obviously have a big influence, I would imagine, in some of the decision making. It doesn't look like the Randy Gregory signing, for example, was the best one
I would
based on what we
think
saw.
he'd be much more hands-on than Nathaniel Hackett, a first-year guy, will be. And I would think, with the veteran quarterback and Russell Wilson and a veteran coach, that'll be a nice pairing compared to a veteran quarterback and a first-year coach like they had last year with Hackett. But it'll be fun to watch, that's for sure.
It'll be fun to watch, so we'll find out. But Scotty, thanks for joining us here and giving us a little bit of insight about Sean Payton.
It's a big day, Chris.
It's a big day. Scotty Gange, 9 News Sports. You'll see him, by the way, here on Tuesday night. So thanks for joining us, Scotty.